YouTube, where's the baby? Where's the baby? That is the $1,000,000 question. And we're going to be talking about just that thing here today. Also, I want to discuss this big conversation about, did Jake make a confession or not? We're going to try to clear this up a little bit today. And of course, Rebecca talks, right? She talks, sticking with her story. Sticking with her story. We're discussing that stuff right here on Dolly Vision today. But first, I'm going to need you to leave your DNA on the like button just in case somebody gets rid of you in the damn California desert. Dolly's going to track you down like a bloodhound, okay? But I can't do it without your fingerprints and your DNA all over that damn like button. If you don't know what a like button is, it looks like this. Boom. Like a thumb. Okay. And don't sit on your thumbs today. You got to give the thumb, not sit on it. And if you're brand new and you're watching out there and you haven't subbed up to this channel right here that you're watching, do it. Okay. Do it. Let's make it simple. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Sub up, ring the bell. And of course, feel free to share my scary, ugly ass face on any social media platform you choose, as long as it's not farmersonly.com. Okay. I don't want to be up there. I don't want to be up there. Don't do it, people. So real fast, I want to give my warnings before we get into this story, because everybody, of course, is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. The caller's opinions are theirs and theirs alone today, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone is innocent to proven guilty, even you. And the biggest one of them all, and y'all by now should know this, don't try to beat Dolly at home, okay? It is dangerous, and your neighbors will hate you, okay? Don't do it. So, a lot of talk has been going around about, did Jake Haro confess to the murder or the death of Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old baby that went missing out of Calabasas, right? Did I say that right? Calabasas, California, okay? Parents said they pulled up to a Big Five Sporting Goods, the mother, Rebecca, and somebody came up and said, "Hola," busted her ass in the back of the head and stole the baby. She woke up with 2 black eyes and a bad relationship, okay? Can't make it up. So she looks around for her baby. The baby's gone. She calls the police, reports Cabazon. Thank you. Reports the baby missing. And you would think I would know the name of the place. I was just there, right? I was just there and still don't know the damn name of the place. So anyway, she makes a report to the police that the baby's missing. Come to find out, after investigation leads in their direction, that this story was completely made up. And there was no kidnapping that took place at a Big Five Sporting Good. So everybody that didn't want to go to the Big Five to get a baseball bat or a glove, you can now go. It's safe. Dolly's officially telling you it's safe. Don't worry. Ain't nobody gonna be like, "Hola," boo, and bust you in the head with a bat. You are good. You're safe to go buy a soccer ball if you want to. Okay, you're completely safe. That's what the authorities are saying. There's no kidnapper out there. These people are in jail. Now, you know quickly how fast rumors spread. So we watched the press conference yesterday, and we watched the sheriff and the prosecutors say, listen, some of this internet stuff has gotten out of hand. People say it. People start to believe it. And there's been no confession. No, zero confession. Now, I was watching Vinny from Court TV yesterday, and so many people were in his chat room going, well, they just don't want to tell on the informant. They don't. So people don't want to believe what they're being told by the main people, right? By the prosecutors and the sheriff. People still don't want to believe it. I think a confession is a legal term. Let's see what this says. technically a written statement and he didn't tell people what he did. It was a lie, but he didn't technically confess, in my opinion. I don't believe he confessed at all. Now, listen, some of these people out here in the comments, you guys have never been to jail. Okay? You've never been to jail. I've been to jail. I've set my ass in there. I've set camp up in jail. Camped out. We call it summer camp. Okay? It's when your ass goes and you ain't leaving. There's no way to leave. You got no bond or you're serving time. Summer camp. You're in summer camp. And let me tell you one thing. You know the reason I know he didn't confess? And Dolly's never wrong. Because everybody in jail is innocent. Okay? Everybody in jail is 100% innocent. Nobody will ever, in a jail cell, ever confess to their crimes. Never. Okay? I've never heard one person in the jail, and I've been to jail a few times, go, I did it. Every person in there is 100% innocent. Okay? I've been there. I know not one person will be truthful. Not one person. They could be on camera stealing from Walmart. I didn't steal, man. I was going to buy that stuff. I was just going to put it in my car and go back in and pay for it. Everybody is innocent. Nobody confesses to crimes in jail. And don't you think inmates, have anybody ever watched 60 Days In? Has anybody ever watched the show 60 Days In? Okay. Anybody? Just press 1 in the chat if you watch 60 Days In. Nobody confesses to their crimes because they know that the deputies put people in the jail to snitch. There's jailhouse snitches. Everybody knows who they are, and what they do is they write them out the block. So that means they basically go up there and say, if you don't get this person out the cell, we're going to kick that ass, right? And then if multiple people do it, they have to get you out the cell for safety reasons. So they know who be snitching, right? If you ain't with these people on the street, you ain't going to be with these people in the jail, okay? That's just the way it works. There's politics in jail. Some people don't understand this because you may not have never been there, okay? There's politics. There's things. There's ways that things operate, right? When you go in, people already know your charges, right? The deputies leak that information to other inmates in the jail, right? So everybody knows what you're there for. Everybody knows what you're there for. And this dude is high profile. He is in a red jumpsuit, okay? That means he is isolated from the other inmates in the jail. He's high profile, like Brian Kohlberger. They just don't throw you in a cell with another dude when you are alleged murderer and you're all over TV. You know why they don't do that? Because you may hurt that inmate. Okay, you may have seen him on the news and go, he's a baby killer, get him. Because people that hurt children are green lighted in jail. Okay, now I don't know if you know what this means. The green light means it's go time for anybody in the jail when they see you. That means that person can be attacked by anybody at any time, and there's no repercussions for it. Now, some people you can't jump on in jail because there's gangs and they'll come back and retaliate. The green light is given when anybody can get this person. And green lights are always given on anybody that has hurt or did the big M or R'd a child. Okay. So people don't even want to be around people like this in jail because they miss their families. Listen, you may break the law. You may be a criminal. Okay. That don't mean you don't love your kids. It don't mean you don't love your kids. There's a lot of people in there that tell you, man, I miss my wife. I miss my kids. I'm just trying to go home. I'm going to be a better parent when I get out. I'm going to stop selling dope. I'm going to stop robbing people. I'm going to stop doing all this because they miss their kids. So when I heard this rumor come out, I was like, I don't believe this. I don't believe this because he's high profile and he should be 23-1, which means he's locked in a cell 23 hours a day. He comes out for 1 hour. Okay. That is to shave and to use the phone, because you still, even though you high profile, you still have phone rights. Okay. Dolly, do you have any updates on Brandy Vaughn? Okay, that's a little off topic, but I know they had talked about her on the news the other night, that it was just about them flying her out for this liver transplant. But no, we haven't had an update on Brandy Neal Vaughn in the last 2 days, 3 days. Now, I could have PJ reach out to her, but I don't know her condition right now. But you guys continue to pray for Brandy. Okay. I mean, an awesome woman fighting for her son. That is a parent of a real missing child, right? That's what you're supposed to be as a mother. And her health has took a bad turn, guys. For anybody who don't know who Brandy Vaughn is, she is the mother of Michael Monkey Vaughn, missing from Fruitland, Idaho. We've been covering that case for 4 years, and the mother's health has took a really bad turn, and she needs a liver transplant. So I don't know if they done the liver transplant yet, and I'm praying that they did and she makes a full recovery. But as I know, guys, I will let y'all know. We just didn't want to really reach out to her while she's going through so much, because usually she sends us messages and conversates with PJ almost daily. So, and we ain't heard nothing. So, guys, PJ worried to death. Of course, guys, me worried to death. And yeah, let's just pray for a miracle, guys. Miracles happen. She's a strong woman. Like I told PJ last night, I said, listen, okay, I'm invisible again. I see you. I see you. Chat's just moving fast. I told PJ last night, I said, Brandy's a strong woman. If anybody can pull through this, it'll be her. Okay. And I'm praying to God that is the case. We definitely don't want to be delivering any kind of bad news. But I also told PJ last night, I said, listen, no news sometimes is good news. All right. Because we ain't hearing nothing bad coming out. So that might mean it's something good taking place. So anyway, I didn't think this man confessed, but Brian Enton from News Nation, and we're going to take a little look at his video, a little listen to what he said, said he had a person to come to him and told him that, he had confessed, and they're alleging that he threw the baby in the trash. Now, here's what's crazy is when they gave that press conference yesterday, that they said they knew where the baby was at, the general area of where the baby was at. Not exactly, what's up, Buddha Mike? Pinpointed the location of where this baby was at, but they said they knew, right? When you say it kind of leads people to think, okay, well, any day they're going to find the body of Emmanuel Haro, because they're saying they think he is deceased. Okay, that's bad news. Is they believe this child is deceased. Your father has a history of abuse. He should be in prison right now. He shouldn't even be on the street. This never should have happened. This could have been avoided. The judge that let this man onto the street needs to be in jail and does not need to be a judge. Now, they wouldn't name the judge that did this, but I'm sure you could go through court records and probably find out what judge released this man and gave him probation on such a brutal, horrible crime as fracturing the skull of a 10-week-old baby. Okay, 10 weeks old. This kid has already got wounds that are healing from broken ribs, has a broken leg, and a fractured skull. And the kid is bedridden to this day, okay, with mental damages from Jake Haro. And the man never served one damn day in the prison system. Fire all them people. It's unbelievable, right? The judge should have the shit slapped out of him and should step down from the bench and never rule over anything else again. They failed. They failed that kid, the first kid, the 10-week-old kid. They failed that child. I mean, she will live a life of disability her whole life because of this man. And now we got Emmanuel Haro that don't even have a life because of this man. Now, I know a lot of people are saying the blame goes on Rebecca. And I think, of course, what I said from the beginning is he is blaming Rebecca. The parents have turned on each other. Well, he has turned on his wife, and we knew that was coming. I called this shit like a psychic, like I was the 1-900 call Miss Cleo number. And the people, it ain't just me. People out there on the scene were screaming at the house, Rebecca, he is going to roll over you like a freight train. He is going to tell it. You better tell it now, girl. Come outside, tell the truth, because if you don't, he is going to roll on you. And this is what it appears to me he is doing. We are seeing him show up at locations, but not know where the body's at. Okay. We're hearing the police say he's never confessed. So then why is he out there with the police? Because he didn't confess that he committed a crime. He's saying that his wife committed the crime. Now his defense, he has a really good defense. He has a really good defense. She reported that she had the baby. She was the last one with the baby. And he was at a sporting game with his older child in front of hundreds of witnesses. Now, of course, the police are alleging that this baby went missing before this. Okay, before this. But they're already talking about charging these people with no body. Okay, wait a minute. No body? How can that be? Y'all just said yesterday that you knew where the baby was at. And then they kind of rolled it back. Dolly, he has a public defender. It don't matter what kind of defender he has, right? You got to remember, they're charging somebody with no body that has an alibi. All it takes is one little bit of reasonable doubt that she did it. Now, do I think that'll happen? I don't know. California people are a little bit different. On the East Coast, yeah, your ass going to prison. We don't care about your body. We don't want to hear nothing you say. We don't even care a damn about your constitutional rights over here. Okay. But over here, it's all about rights. Everybody's rights. I mean, you can be damn near be a lawn chair in California if you want to be. I mean, the people are damn a little on that side, right? I mean, you never know what could happen in a court in California, right? I know what would happen to them on the East Coast. They would never get out. They'd be facing damn 160 years, but reasonable doubt, California, nobody, you're blaming somebody else. They're pointing the fingers at each other. That's when a jury's sitting there going, what the hell is going on? So all these rumors started with the confession with basically Brian Enton, which is the newscaster for News Nation. So we're going to take a little look at his video, see what he said. And I just want to debunk a little bit of what's going on here today, because I don't believe this is the case. And I never seen Brian Enton out there. Okay. The only two, well, I've seen three major people, I guess, far as YouTubers and TikTokers. There was the local news that was out there, but they, believe it or not, they wasn't out there as much as the TikTokers, YouTubers, and there was crazy guy with the lazy eye was out there. Of course, On the Tita was out there. Dolly was out there. I mean, for the majority of the time, I would say us three people were out there. Probably more me and crazy eye with the lazy guy. On the Tita kept leaving, and he would just pop in when something was happening. So he wasn't out there for like hours at a time. Now, I seen he's been getting a little heat. This is a little off topic from TMZ. Of all people to give the man a hard time, TMZ is saying he's nothing but an amateur. Okay. Taking blows at On the Tita. Now, I've seen TMZ reporters, and they are fucking idiots. Just idiots. Anybody can work for TMZ. I mean, Bullhorn Betty sold the Dog the Bounty Hunter video to TMZ, right? They'll let anybody do TMZ, right? So if he's upset about what TMZ is saying, TMZ reporters are a joke. Okay, it's a joke. They pay for all their videos. Okay, so and you go film something today that's Tom Cruise, and you can sell it right to TMZ for $500. Okay, anybody, right now, you grab a camera and you could go out and be a TMZ reporter, chase celebrities around, say something crazy, get them to answer one of your questions, and you're on TMZ. Okay, that's it. So to see them attacking alternative news sources, right? The news hates alternative news sources. They hate it. They hate it. Georgia news hated me. California news hates On the Tita. You know why they hate us? You know why? Because we are bringing more views and we're taking food off their full ass plate. Now they got a plate with turkey, stuffing, dressing, cranberry. I mean, the whole plate is overfilling. But if you reach up there and you grab one slice of turkey off their plate, they get so butthurt that it's unreal, because, you know, they got to pay all Harvey got to pay, you know, he got to make a $5 million a year and all this. So what I say is F them damn people. All right. Get your ass out there. If y'all wanted the news, y'all should have been out there with cameras doing your job, but you wasn't. Other people were, and other people are starting to take over that. And TMZ is kind of tanking a little bit. It's pure greed, right? It is. And I told, what did they call me in Georgia? They wouldn't say protester. They wouldn't say, hey, people outside protesting the house, right? Because we were YouTubers. They said we were hecklers. How do you heckle somebody that's not doing any type of entertainment? The definition don't even fit what is going on. But it was their way of taking blows at the YouTubers, because their videos were doing 5,000 views and ours were doing 75,000 views. They were like, okay, well, nobody's watching us because they're watching these damn idiot ass YouTubers and TikTokers. They can't handle it. So I say to the people that are sweating TMZ and what TMZ is saying about people, I wouldn't pay it any mind. Okay. I wouldn't pay it any mind. 5 years from now, TMZ probably won't even be around. That's the way I look at it. But you know what will be? The largest platforms, TikTok, YouTube, right? That's why all these people right now have YouTube channels. Everybody in the news realize, wait a minute, these people are taking over. They're completely taking over. So now you got Nancy Grace on YouTube. You got Brian Enton on YouTube. You got Vinnie Politan on YouTube. You got all these people coming to YouTube because they know if they don't, they're going to get passed by. They're going to get ran over like a fucking freight train. Right? And it's all about Betty is a heckler. Okay, Betty might be a heckler. I'll give you that one. She may be a little heckler. But they would get passed by if they didn't. Even Ashley Banfield. There's a lot of people coming to YouTube, and I don't blame them, because this is where people are going for their media. We really can't trust the news anymore. I remember there was a time where we could trust the news, where I thought the news told you the truth. I didn't know news was full of shit. I didn't have no clue. I didn't know the news could lie to you. I didn't even know. And, you know, I always just thought the news was truthful. I didn't know the news made so many mistakes and reported on false things. One of the things that led me to this, and for you guys that have been in true crime for a minute, this ain't for my California people, but this is for my people that's been with me for the last few years. When Sebastian Rogers went missing, okay, every clown, every con, every former convict came out of woodwork on Sebastian Rogers, okay? And there was an agency out there, alleged agency, that offered a crazy reward for Sebastian Rogers, and the dude had just got out of prison for fraud, okay? On probation as he was doing it. And every local media station in Nashville, Tennessee area covered this like they were real and legitimate. Okay. They were saying the reward was $500,000, $400,000. And this is all coming from people that were fraudulent. Okay. Straight out of prison. But the news was believing these people and running these stories as it was the truth. And I'm sitting here watching it like, this is insane. These people do no background checks of who they believe. Soon as they threw an old washed up celebrity in there that looks like he should be in an old folks home, they just ran with it. No doing background. It was sad. It was sad to watch. Dude's up there promoting his book. It ain't about the child anymore. And Seth Rogers, the father, he's out there in front of the police station, the sheriff's office, with 3 people with him now. I didn't look and see no dog. I didn't look and see no intelligence agency. I didn't see no TikTok Tony. And we watched people destroy that case. Destroy it. And the news, which running everything, they said like it was absolutely truth. And we all knew it was bullshit, right? I'm watching like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. They got the people up there for interviews and shit. Did you say, hey, did you check with your parole officer before you came up here on the news to see if you could, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you got criminals interfering with a criminal investigation. And the news didn't care. They didn't care. It just made headlines. It made stories. It did views. That's all they give a damn about. Sometimes the local news is worse. And I mean worse, grimy, especially those Georgia media people, than any YouTuber, any TikToker, right? It's almost disgusting. It's almost disgusting. SF Investigates had his nose in this case too. Him, oh my God, I don't want to, this ain't a stream about attacking people. It really is not. It's a stream more to educate you on these cases, because if you're brand new or you're from Cali and you may not have been following the true crime like we have for the last years, you may not have seen all this other stuff, but it happens. And and it just shows you that you cannot believe your local news. You can't trust nothing the news says. And it goes into this. This is why people have turned to live action stuff on as happening as it unfolds with YouTubers and TikTokers. People want to see it for themselves. They don't want to be told anymore because they've been told a bunch of damn lies. You want to see it unfold with your own eyes. And I don't blame you. That's how I am. Like, show me, don't tell me. I want to see it. I want to come to my own conclusions. I don't want you to put your spin on it, your twist on it, because as far as I know, you didn't do any background checking into any of this before you put it out there. I thought TikTokers and YouTubers did very little research, but the media does zero. You tell them something, they take that shit as truth, and then they go run with it. And it's like, everybody has to do better. As a YouTuber, you have to come out here and give people the honest truth and let them know what's going on. As a TikToker, you need to do the same thing. You can't be putting out misinformation. And if you do, you need to make it right immediately. And we've seen some of them do that, right? Make a mistake, fix it, right? That's what you got to do. Thank you for all you do, Dolly. Thanks for helping get the truth out there. Much love and respect from Georgia. There you go, Nina. So you remember them people in Georgia were, hate to talk about your media there and use them as an example. Not only Georgia, but Tennessee. Okay. California seems okay. They seem okay so far, that what I've seen them report, right? They seem to do a little more checking into things on the West Coast than the East Coast. The East Coast just tell you any damn thing, right? They just run with anything. So to make a long story short, this is don't trust your news. Don't trust your news. Just like the dude said in the press conference, I can't help it when y'all get it wrong. Okay. And I've seen them get it wrong. I've seen them get it wrong so many times. So people in California are apparently getting it wrong. I believe Brian Enton was getting it wrong. So let's watch it and not just talk about it. Let me pull this up on the screen. And that way you understand. And some of you still are going to believe this. Some of you are still going to believe this. And I can't control that. I'm just trying to educate you on my experience with this type of stuff.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please click to subscribe. In this episode, I have exclusive new information about the baby Emmanuel murder case out of California. Baby Emmanuel's father, sources tell me, Jake Haro, told a fake inmate in the jail that he killed baby Emmanuel and put the baby in a trash can in his house. Let me repeat that again. Sources say that Jake Haro told a fake inmate in the jail that he killed baby Emmanuel and put the baby in a trash can in his house. You might be wondering how police got this information. This is part of what I'm told is called a Perkins operation. A Perkins operation, which is when police use a fake inmate to try to get information out of someone who has been arrested and who is inside the jail. This Perkins operation came after, I'm told, Jake Haro confessed to police that he...
No. Do you listen? No. I guess the answer is no. You don't listen. I said I'm watching it to show you, to debunk it, and I'm telling you my experiences with being locked up and when you're high profiled in the jail. Okay? So pay attention. If you're just coming in, you may be late. I don't know. But don't interrupt. All right? Don't interrupt.
Rolled over in bed and killed the baby by accident and then buried the baby. So that is what Jake Haro told police, which is why he took police to that spot out along the freeway, this video that we have.
Okay, now you hear that. He confessed. That's what he told police. That's why he took them out to this field. That's lies. That is absolutely lies. That is not true. That is not true. The prosecutor has said it. The sheriffs have said it, that there was never no confession. Okay, never no confession. Most Leslie, did he roll over somebody? Did he throw them in the trash? Here's my thing. Would you confess to a crime, to anybody, if you committed it? Right? No. He ain't going to do that. He's just not going to do that. You're not going to get it that easy. And Jake is playing with the police. He's playing with the police. He just wants out of that cell, and he is acting like he's cooperating. But I believe more and less he's defending himself. Like, listen, I don't have nothing to do with it. This is all this woman. I will take you out there. I know the areas that she goes to, and I will take you out there and show you these areas. Right? So that's what he's doing. If you was to hide a body or dispose of a body, you would know exactly where that body was at. Okay? Like if I was to unalive somebody and put their body somewhere, even a small child, I would know exactly where I put that body. I wouldn't have to go look around for the body. I would know exactly where it, a lot of people reported the jail informant. Right? A lot of people did. But we watched the press conference yesterday with the prosecutors and the sheriff, the district attorney. And he said, that is a lie. That is not true. And he told the media, he said, look, I can't help it when you get it wrong. But they made it a point to say there is no confession. Now, we know they got to walk up in the court, right? And trust me, if he confessed, don't you think they would tell us, hey, he confessed? Right? He confessed. Case solved. We know we did it. We're going to get the murder conviction. They would tell us if he confessed. They ain't going to hide that information whenever they ever hid any other confession. Think about it. Use common sense. Just a little common sense. When's the last time they hid another confession? Don't you think they'd be patting themselves on the back? Guys, we got them. They confessed. They did it. This is a slam dunk, open shut case. No, they're already preparing to go to court with no body. So they don't know where the baby's at. And they don't know where the baby's at. That means nobody's talking. It means Jake is filling their head full of shit. He's blaming her. And this woman is sticking to the story. There's rumors she gave an interview. And, that Jake gave an interview. But that what Rebecca's been saying is, the baby got kidnapped. The baby got kidnapped. And we know that shit ain't true. But she's not talking. She's not talking. Let's hear a little bit more.
That shows him out there searching. That story, I'm told police believe, was all made up. First, they got that story. Then they decided to do the Perkins operation, I'm told, which is when they used the fake inmate and when they say they got the information that Jake Haro actually killed baby Emmanuel and put baby Emmanuel into a trash can. Meanwhile, baby Emmanuel's mother, I'm told, is still sticking to the same story. They also did a Perkins operation with her in jail, and she is standing by her story that baby Emmanuel was kidnapped. That is also, you'll remember what she told a reporter who she talked to in jail. So many tragic twists and turns in this case. My big concern right now is that if this story is true, that police allegedly found out about through this Perkins operation, that he killed baby Emmanuel and put him into a trash.
You hear him say allegedly, if this is true, right? Because he knows he don't have good sources on this. Apparently, he didn't talk to the sheriff about it. Apparently, he didn't talk to the district attorney about it because he says allegedly, if this is true. All right. So did he vet the source that told him this? Now, are they going to run? If you undercover officer working sting operations, are you running to News Nation? Are you running to News Nation? I don't think so. Even yesterday, Vinny was putting out that, hey, this is fake. It's a fake report. It's not true. Because, that same district attorney that's up there telling you, hey, he ain't going to lie to you because this dude may run for governor one day. Usually a lot of these people that are in these positions are mostly politicians. Okay? This is the first step. Prosecuting attorney. Next thing you know, you the governor, mayor. It's politics, right? So I believe what we heard from the press conference from the source, the main sources that are in charge of this operation, in charge of this case, in charge of this thing going to court, in charge of them getting a conviction of what they say before I believe what any news people say. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion.
Can, and that it may have been up to 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Will they ever actually find baby Emmanuel?
No.
I'm joined now by Kim Dagonia, a former Riverside County prosecutor. Thank you for joining me again, Kim. I want to start with this new reporting that we have, that Jake confessed to police.
No cellmates.
That he rolled over the baby, killed the baby, and then buried the baby. But apparently that story was not true, right?
Yes, that is correct. My inside sources are telling me that was absolutely a lie. He made that all up to the police in order to, I guess, garner some type of sympathy, garner some type of a linear charge or sentence, but he made up this entire fabricated story that he was asleep with the baby Emmanuel, that he rolled over onto baby Emmanuel. When he woke up, he realized the baby was dead and he panicked. And so he went out to the Gilman Springs area that we saw him with the police the other day, and he buried the body because he wanted to have the opportunity to go back and mourn his son's death and visit him. That was his story. That's why he was out there in his chains and his shackles, allegedly trying to lead the police to the body that was never there.
Okay.
It was just part of his story.
The reason that we know that this is allegedly made up is because of this reporting that we have that he spoke to someone who he thought was an inmate in the jail, but it was actually.
You notice they never give up their source of where they heard it from, right? Oh, well, we don't know. Nobody knows who they heard it from, right? Is this some shit they just made up? How did they know this? How does this lady know this? How does he know this? Okay, I can tell you now, Brian Enton has never had his ass in a jail cell. He's never been in a jumper. He's never heard trays, right? I can tell you now, this woman right here has it, right? I can tell you now that these are high-profile inmates, and they are locked up in Supermax by themselves. The color of his jumpsuit tells you that. Okay. The color of his jumpsuit tells you he is high profile. In the beginning, they would tell you, hey, they're in cells by themselves. Do you think if somebody threw somebody in the cell with you, you're not going to know they're a cop? And you just going to confess to a complete stranger, right? That don't happen. I slept in jail many a nights for months. And no, this shit don't happen. That this is a fabricated story. I could tell you this is a lie just as quick as I could tell you when the lady said I got hit in the head with a and somebody said Ola and hit me in the head and had a black eye. I could have told that was a lie. I could tell you that this is a lie. I don't know where people are getting these stories, but listen, people really believe it. They really believe it. Still right this minute, like I said, I've been in chats. They're saying, well, they just don't want to give up their informant. They don't give a shit about that. Listen, if they had a confession, that district attorney, that sheriff would have been up there dancing. They would have been doing, you cooking with Big Papa, right? Big Daddy, whatever his name was in the Austin Drummond stuff. They would have been doing that. They would have been celebrating. They would have been gloating. They would have been talking about like Dolly does. You know, when I'm like, yeah, I told you I was right, right? You know how I do. They would have been doing the exact same thing. It ain't that. They're wrong. They think because he was out there that he confessed. So many people were wrong. Listen, we know what he did in the last case. History don't do nothing but repeat itself, right? If you don't learn from it, he didn't go to prison. He did the same shit last time, blamed the mama, and he's going to do that again. When he gets into court, he's going to blame Rebecca. He's not going to walk up in that courtroom and say, I rolled over that baby. That is just almost ignorance, right? And a lot of these people I have respect for because, you know, they way bigger time than me. They can't celebrate the win because then how do they prosecute him? Well, they would let you know. Anybody else that confessed, they come out and say, well, they confessed to the crime. We're building our evidence against them. We're going to prosecute them to the fullest, right? This ain't the case in this. I mean, you seen how they handled that yesterday. Well, it's people pick and choose what they want to believe. And I get it. But life experience, just life experience. Okay. Anybody ever seen the Scumdog Millionaire? Anybody ever seen that movie? Anybody, just press 1 in chat if you've seen the Scumdog Millionaire. Anybody seen it? You got to read the whole movie. It's not even in English. Okay. It's the only movie I have ever had to read the movie to watch. Okay. Anybody ever seen it? Okay. The reason the Scumdog Millionaire knew the answers to all the questions is from life experience. It wasn't that he was smart or he was a genius or he was psychic or anything like that. He had a crazy life. So in his life, he experienced all these different things. So when they asked him the questions, he knew the answers to it. They thought he was cheating. But the story is about this boy that comes from being poor in the slums and his life and how he survives. And in all that, he had a lot of life experience. Okay. And that life experience gave him the answers to all these questions in a game show where he won $1 million. Okay. So the point is this, if you ain't been there or been through it, you wouldn't know this, right? But if you've been, I hope none of y'all been to prison or anything like that. Maybe jail. You may have did something stupid like me. I got in a fight in a bar and hit a dude with a guitar and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But I went my ass to jail and I set up for summer camp. That means I was there for months. And there's certain people when they come into jail, if they're all over the local news, you can't be around them. They put them in solitary cells. The only people that can be around them is trustees. Okay. That's the only people these people communicate with. You know how I know that? Because I was a trustee in the jail. So in the jail, when you're locked down, like in the pods, if you want something to drink, they got a little cooler thing you can go up to and fill your cup up, right? They'll bring it into the pod. But if you're not, if you're locked down 23 and 1, high profile or supermax inmates or a murderer, right? They just don't throw the murderers into jail right with somebody that ran a red light. All right. You're isolated. Or if you hit a guard, you go into a red jumper. Okay. That means you're a threat in the jail. You're high profile. You have to be guarded like double when you walk around. They have to have at least 2 guards with you at all time. Okay. They go by colors of the jumpsuits of how much of a risk you are in jail. So in the jail, I worked as a juice man. So I went to every supermax cell. I went to every cell of people that were in any type of isolation, the Bammer cells, like the hole, the shoe or whatever some people call it, right? And you go in there and you feel the only person they see is you. Now, if they would have came out and said, hey, this dude confessed to one of the trustees, it would have been more believable. Okay, because a trustee does have access to all these people. All right. When I was in there pouring juice for people that were in there for murder, pouring juice for people that were in there for rape, people that were armed robbers, dope dealers, and they, believe it or not, they're going to want to talk to you because they've been sitting in a cell by themselves for 23 hours. And as human beings, we are naturally need communication to survive. If not, you ever heard of cabin fever? It's a real thing. And it's against the law to lock somebody in a cell by themselves, but for so long, or they'll go crazy. Okay, they'll absolutely go crazy, almost like Richard Allen. I love DOLLY life stories, right? So when you go up to the cell to pour the juice, they're going to want to talk to you. They want to tell you, hey, man, how you doing? What you in here for? And blah, blah, blah. And they'll start talking to you. They'll just try to hold a conversation as long as they can until you're trying to walk away from the cell to get to the next cell. So I walked up to cells and people be like, man, I ain't talked to nobody in 3 months. Your eyes be big as shit, like they just happy to see. They don't care if you're a complete stranger, just happy as hell to see you, right? And they'll talk to you. So when they were like, they put somebody up in there, that don't happen. They don't put, you're in a one-man cell. Okay. You're not on the block. You're not on a tier. Okay. A tier, a pod, for you who don't know, usually it's like 125 people in a pod. Okay. And they have the tier. Y'all seen that on jail shows, right? A little tier. You got cells on the bottom, cells on the top. And usually them cells are popped. That means the doors are open. The only time they lock those doors are at night. So people can walk around and communicate. And see, he's not doing none of that. He's not doing none of that. So to me, I knew the story was fabricated because I've been in there and it don't happen like that. Now, I will give you an example of something. I had a buddy. This is a true story. He shot a police officer. He was charged with capital murder. He lives 3 streets over from me right now. And what had happened, I got to share a story because this does involve informants. He was growing the sticky icky at his house. Okay. I've known this dude since he was a little kid. I knew his mama before his mama passed away. She was a deputy sheriff. And his uncle is one of my best friends. So he was growing some sticky icky, right? He comes home and realizes that his house has been broken into. And somebody has stole some of the sticky icky. And this is a little tiny guy. His name is Ryan. Okay. I'll pull him up on the local news and show you I ain't bullshitting about this story too. He noticed that his house was broken into, and he was scared that the robbers that broke into his house were going to come back. So that day he went out and bought a gun. Okay. He went out and bought a gun legally, went out and bought the gun. He drove a Coca-Cola truck for a living. That's what he did for a living. And he lived 3 streets over from me. And so he goes to bed, lays down, smokes a bowl, I guess, and he lays down in his bed in the middle of the night, and he wakes up to a bang. And when he looks, his bedroom sits down a long hallway, and then there's the front door. He sees a man dressed in all black. You know how you got the panels on your door? One of the panels were gone out the bottom of the door, and this man was crawling through the bottom of the door. So he reaches over, grabs the gun he just bought, fires 3 shots. Okay, 3 shots. This is a crazy story. One of the bullets, I'm going to tell you now, the guy crawling through the door was a police officer. He was a police officer. Because, listen to this, they had some informants that they let out of jail. Okay, they were charged with credit card fraud, but the police went to them and said, listen, if you will tell us dirt on the street, we'll pay you a monthly salary and let you out of jail for the crimes you committed. But we're going to need you to rat on people. So they agreed to it. These 2 dudes agreed to it. So, but what they did was go break into Ryan's house and steal the sticky, right? So they take it back to this detective. The detective's name is Detective Shivers. You can even look it up in Virginia. Detective Shivers takes this, right? Takes it to a judge to get a search warrant for the house, which anybody knows that you can't break in somebody's house to get evidence. You can't pay informants to break into somebody's house to get evidence. But that's what they did. So when these guys took them back to stuff, that was what they would use for probable cause for the affidavit to get the search warrant to search this guy Ryan's house. So the neighbors, they didn't hear nobody screaming police, search warrant. There was 2 police, middle of the night. Ryan shot this guy, and he was wearing a bulletproof vest. But as he was crawling, he shot him under the arm, and the bullet went into his chest and killed the police officer almost instantly. Detective Shivers is his name. When I was working construction, I built the memorial for Detective Shivers. Okay. But what he was doing was completely effed up. He was really a bad cop, right? But I don't want to say that too loud because, you know, I'm still in this area, and the police, they're friends around here. You know what I'm saying? So another cop grabs him, drags him out the street, and starts trying to do CPR on him. By this time, they're calling police officer shot, SWAT team is showing up, and basically the dude Ryan walks out and surrenders to the SWAT team. Okay, he had no clue that it was the police climbing through his door. He thought it was an intruder. They charged him with capital murder. Okay, capital murder. And at this point, Virginia still had the death penalty. He was facing the electric chair, or lethal injection. We didn't do the electric chair. He was facing so his uncle, which is one of my best friends, sold his house, sold his Harley Davidson. He had 2 houses though. He sold one of the houses. He sold his Harley Davidson. He's a good guy. I've hung out with this dude since I was a kid. One of the nicest guys you ever meet. But he sold everything he had to help his nephew, right? Sold the bigger house, moved into the little one, sold his bike, sold his car, and he got him his high-dollar lawyer, okay? Probably one of the best lawyers in our area. His name is Broccoletti. If you ever in Virginia get in trouble, that's the best lawyer you can get. So basically, the informants, right? They tell the local newspaper that they broke into the house. So now they know that his house was broken into, and he's telling the truth because he told the police when he got arrested, hey, somebody broke into my house. I went and bought a gun. I thought somebody else was breaking back in, and I shot him. Right? Now, Virginia is not like we don't have stand your ground law here. You're not supposed to just shoot an unarmed person, even if they're breaking into your house. You're not. You're supposed to run to the farthest point of your house, and if they come into that area, then you can shoot them. This ain't Texas. We just can't shoot you for stealing or breaking in the house, right? If I see somebody, if I pull up in my driveway and you walking out my door with my TV, I can't shoot you. Okay. Now, if you got a gun walking out the door with my TV, I can shoot you. But if you unarmed and I catch you breaking in the house or doing I can't shoot you, which is crazy. So, but the search warrant wasn't valid because they broke the law to get the search warrant. So what they did is they didn't have no evidence against them. So they said that they had an informant in the cell with them, and that he confessed to the informant that He did it purposely. He knew it was the police and he shot him purposely. The police didn't have what they needed to convict him because the informants talked. And then you know what they did when the informants talked to the newspaper? Because they said, we're paid informants. We get paid by the state. They let us out of jail. They arrested the informants and sent them to prison. Okay. So the media went back to talk to the informants, and the informants were scared to talk. They said they weren't going to say nothing. They weren't going to say nothing because they've already in jail and they're scared of the police. They said they're scared of the local police here. So, of course, they bring in an informant, somebody from the jail, and he gets up on the stand and says, Ryan confessed to me that he knew it was the police. He heard them say police, and he shot him purposely, which was just a bold-faced lie. All the neighbors showed up around his house. So they put a big sign in front of his house that said, support Ryan Fredericks, right? That's the guy's name. And the city got on to him about the sign and made them take the sign down because it wasn't in support of the police. And all the neighbors showed up and said, no, all around them said, we never heard the police scream police. We didn't hear no flashbangs. We didn't see police cars. There was no SWAT. There was no nothing. They just broke into the house in the middle of the night. So he ended up walking up there, because they had him for capital murder and manufacturing, okay, growing. So he walked up there and pled guilty to the manufacturing because he couldn't deny it, because that's what his story was, right? Hey, I was growing. I thought they were coming back to get the rest of it. I shot, right? So he ended up being convicted of manslaughter. So they dropped the murder charges against him. He ended up getting manslaughter charges, and he is out right now. He's out of jail. He's out of jail. So the point is, they will have people just lie to try to prosecute you when they don't have enough evidence. Okay, when they don't have this evidence against you, right, to prosecute you, they'll start making up evidence. Now, I ain't trying to defend criminals, right? But this is a situation where this could occur in this case, where somebody from the jail walks up in there and says, yeah, he told me he did this. But people in the jail are aware of things like this. Okay, people ain't stupid. Criminals ain't stupid. Okay, criminals are not dumb as you think. I mean, they ain't the most intelligent people, or they wouldn't be criminals and they wouldn't be in jail, right? But street people know street stuff. It's sometimes people ain't book smart, they're street smart. And I believe this is a situation where this is the case. This man ain't going to walk up there and just tell a complete stranger he did it, knowing that person's going to go back. Would you trust somebody to tell somebody you murdered somebody that you didn't know? It's this common sense kind of things. Now, I'm going to open the phone lines. I'm going to pull up the phone number, and I want to hear from you guys. Do you believe that this man confessed, or do you think it's all BS? Now, listen, you're entitled to your opinion just like I am. I will respect your opinion as long as you respect mine. And let's discuss it, okay? Let's discuss it. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the phone lines now. All right, let me get this call-in number on the screen. Somewhere. We're right here. There's the call-in number, 757-797-6694. Now, if you got experience with being incarcerated, or do you think this is BS, or you believe that there is an informant and he did confess, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you today. Let me cut the phone lines on. The phone lines are now on. Let me refresh it. Okay. Send Dolly in. Dolly him. Dolly.
Doug from Tennessee.
What's up, Doug?
Hey, man. You know, he might have confessed. Hell, he's dumb enough to.
What makes you think that, though?
Because if you beat a child once and you beat a child twice, you ain't got no common sense.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't got no comment. Yeah, I mean, I ain't saying that. I mean, you got enough sense to tell on yourself. I mean, I wouldn't tell on myself. Would you tell on yourself if you unalive somebody, Doug? Would you tell on yourself to a complete stranger?
Oh,
yeah,
they wouldn't catch me though. I wouldn't be stupid as he was.
They wouldn't get you. Have you ever been incarcerated, Doug? I don't think you have. You don't look like an incarcerated kind of person.
No, I've never been incarcerated, never been in trouble.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I've been in there, I've been in there, and usually when people are high profile, they're by themselves. There's nobody even around them to talk to. That's the bad part about being high profile is they lock you in a cell by yourself.
I just ain't never done too much of nothing. Well, I have, but
just never got caught. You never got caught. Yeah, okay. That makes sense, right? Nobody's a saint. Nobody's a saint. Everybody's done something.
When I was a younger man, you didn't pay the man. You got a visit from the man.
I've been in a few bar brawls that caught me a couple different assault charges. So that's my experience. I've never been in jail for like lying, cheating, stealing, drugs, anything like all of it's been violence, like fighting.
I would come and get you though.
Drunk in public. I've been in jail one time for drunk in public.
But I'd come and get you.
Yeah.
If you owe money, I was the one come and pick you up and take you to the man.
I'm not a real criminal. You know what I'm saying? I F up every now and then because I'm stupid. But I don't do nothing to hurt anybody, or like if you go to fight with me, yeah, I'm in a bar, we're getting into a fight, you know what I'm saying? And that always ends bad for me. I always am one that goes to jail. I don't know what it is. I ain't never started a fight with somebody in my whole entire life. I'm always the one to go to jail.
If it hadn't been for my wife, I'd probably been in jail. She calmed me down a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm old. I ain't been to jail in a long, long time. I mean, I'm old now. Now I don't go to bars. I don't be fighting with people. I don't be drinking. I don't be doing any of that stuff. But I had my heyday, where I raised hell, kick ass and raised hell. Raised hell, ate cornbread. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. But now I won't get on the subject, though. These people started hollering about that person that done this shooting and stuff. And they start talking about racism and children. A child is a child no matter what.
Yeah.
Black, white, red, green, it don't matter. You hurt a child, you are a monster.
Yes.
I don't care what you look like.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
All kids, I don't care if you're Spanish, I don't care if you're Jordan or whatever. A child is a child. It's a sacred of God.
Yeah, I think they're the worst criminals ever.
If you hurt a child, you should only have one chance. He got two chances to hurt a child. He should have never been out of jail.
I know,
and we wouldn't be going to this. And it's school shootings. All right, they keep hollering, "We need more security. We need more security." Well, shit, what the hell they been at for the last 5 or 6 years? You needed security 5 or 6 years ago. Now you hollering it again, and you want to blame the guns. It ain't the gun; it's the stupid people with the guns.
Yeah, they say that guns don't kill people; people kill people. But listen, we spend money on stupid stuff in this country. We need to do better at protecting our kids. Put more money. I think that. I think kids are the most valuable thing we got, and if we're going to spend all this money on millions of dollars on politicians, why can't we spend some of that money on protecting our kids?
Well, then it ain't like they didn't know this stuff happens.
Well, it's been getting worse. It's been getting worse.
There should not be a school in the United States of America does not have the armed security guards watching people going in and out.
Yeah.
24 all day long.
I mean, we can key card hotels. We can't key card the schools, where you can get out, but you can't get in. I think kids' student ID should be able to work for the doors. And it just, I don't know the exactly how to make everything safe, but I know we could. I mean, you can't walk in and into a prison and shoot it up, right? Why should
There you go.
walk into a school, right? So I mean, that's
But you can't stop. You can't stop evil.
you can't. And
You can't stop
I know
evil.
where you're getting at, but we're not going to get. That's a deep conversation to have right there, Doug. That would take days. But you be good, brother.
All
right.
I wasn't first yesterday, but I tried.
All right. Peace. Yeah, I just want to touch on this just a minute. It is way off topic, but protecting our kids is the most important thing we can do. Some of these people are being way overpaid out here. Money are going to places that they shouldn't be. Congressmen, senators, people are lining their pockets, and our kids are getting hurt. We need to spend some of that money on protecting our kids. There's places you can go and you can't do these types of things, but you can do this at a school. We need to protect our kids. And what we seen happen yesterday was a monster. Now, it ain't got nothing to do with race, religion, sexuality, or anything like that. It has to do with mental health issues. I did watch the video of the young man, woman, whatever he identifies as, and he had mental health issues really, really bad. And now, look, this channel ain't about that. You notice I'm not really covering that, but I'm hoping some of y'all seen that, and it would make you understand that this had nothing to do with anything other than somebody being sick. We got to not only protect our kids, but we got to take the mental health of people in our country seriously. Right? You got to take your mental health seriously. If you're hearing voices or you're talking to yourself and answering yourself and things like that, you need to reach out for help. I bet you a lot of what happened yesterday could have been avoided. Okay? Could have been avoided with just people helping people. But this dude was a sick individual that wanted to hurt people. And listen, it is hard to stop people when they really want to hurt people. If you take this away, somebody will use something else. It ain't that, and I know that was the conversation Doug was trying to go to, and that's a really deep conversation because you look at countries where they hack each other up with machetes. Okay, it's just like, or their subway. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to stop a sick person. It's better to help people so they don't get to that point. So there's no way that this person did this and people didn't see signs along the way that this person mental health was deteriorating. Okay. Now, that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't get into all that stuff here. That don't go into the true crime. That goes into more of a political argument and things like that. All we cover here is crime, right? Crime. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly. It's Angela from Ohio. How are you?
Hey, Angela. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. My little dog's barking. You know how that is for little dogs. But no, all I wanted to do was say, regardless of who did what, she said, he said, they're both guilty. The baby's been gone. They both know what's going on. So, he's trying to probably do the same thing that he did in the first place.
That's what I believe.
Having somebody trying to feel sorry for him. And this time it ain't going to work. So, regardless, they both need to be punished because they both know. So that's all I wanted to say. Okay.
That's understandable. I believe they should both be punished too. Do you think they should be punished at the same level of punishment?
Well, yeah, because that's the mom and dad. I mean, that's the baby. And so hell yeah, they should.
Okay.
They both know whoever did it. It doesn't matter. They both know. So.
Yeah, I believe so too. But what if the mother don't know where the baby is?
I doubt it.
You doubt it? Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable.
Because, they can't, how, the parents in Tennessee, right? They didn't even put them in jail.
Yeah, but let's think about this, though, that Katie Proudfoot didn't have two black eyes.
Right.
Candace
Right,
didn't
and
have
if
two
you
black eyes. She only had one.
Right. Do you remember the picture of her with her little girl and Manuel's laying on her her legs? If you look, somebody made a close up of that picture. He has a big old gash on his leg. So that poor baby's been beaten and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, they both need to be held accountable.
Okay.
I don't care, So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day.
You too. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. And I mean, a lot of people feel like that, we see this abused woman, right? Are we going to argue that she's not abused, right? We can't really. We know she's abused. But should she have talked? Did we give her enough time to talk? Yes. Dolly.
Hi.
Hey.
You're right. You're right about the prison system and what the cons do inside. Ain't nobody talking inside. Ain't nobody gonna confess to something.
I know everybody's innocent.
A guy my dad knew, I mean, he was in prison a lot. And nobody confessed to nothing. It was
I know.
Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Because they hope to get out one day. Parole.
Yeah.
So they ain't gonna tell nobody so you can run tell it. They know that
nobody's talking in there. And like you said, anybody that's been in true crime knows if you do a high profile death like that, you're in 23 hours a day and only out one.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've been in the true crime world, you know how it works.
There's even a prison channel up here called 23 and 1 on YouTube.
I haven't come across it. I'd watch it if I found it.
Yeah, he used to be a local guy here from Virginia, and his channel is 23 and 1. And basically the name comes from being locked down 23 and 1, high profile.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Actually, my neighbor is in prison now because he murdered a 21-year-old. And I told the cops he would nut those. I called the cops on him 22 times in a year.
Well, you go in high profile and then you work your way down. So these high profile people will eventually get put in population, but not just in the beginning. They let it die down.
No. It takes them a while to get to regular population.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got levels. They tear down till they get to population, but they start off high profile and then they work their way down.
But usually before they take them out of that, they get a conviction before they.
Oh yeah. They'll be high profile till way after court, and even when they get to prison until they work their level down. Yeah. So in the jail, they're high profile as you can get. They're supermax.
Anybody that's been around, knows that nobody's talking.
Yeah. Everybody's innocent.
It's always, I'm innocent. I didn't do it. Even if it's on video.
Same thing I said.
I'm innocent.
Yeah, there ain't a guilty person in the jail. Right? So when you in there saying you innocent, they're gonna tell you, well, everybody else is innocent too. Go to pod 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't care.
Well, my girlfriend, she I kept telling her this guy was a thief, and she's like, oh no, he knows the Bible inside and out. I said, but I've known this guy forever. I said, he's the biggest thief there is. And she found out.
Yeah, he got sticky fingers.
Yep.
All right, I appreciate. Go ahead.
Because he ain't did an honest job in his life.
He ain't did an honest job in his life. All right, I appreciate you calling in.
All right, bye.
All right, peace. Yeah, just like the lady said, everybody is innocent in jail, right? Dolly.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. I've been watching your channel and seeing these beautiful kids that are missing come up on the screen, and it breaks my heart.
Yes. Do you want to tell us who you are and where you're calling from?
I'm Brendan Brooks. I'm from Indiana.
All right, Brendan. So what do you think
right down the road from Delphi, where the two girls were missing?
Richard Island territory.
Yep. I worked with Libby's grandfather for many years. He's a good worker.
I know this is off topic from what we're talking about today.
Go ahead.
Do you think Richard Allen's guilty?
I think he might have had some help. I don't know.
It's possible. If he is guilty, I would say he would have had to have some help too.
Yeah,
I've always
but-
more leaned towards Keegan Kline, the weirdo that's in
Yeah.
jail there now for child P charges. But
Yes.
what do you think about this? The guy confessing in jail, this whole story of the dad coming out and just telling some random person he murdered the baby and threw him away.
It makes me want to cry, man, because people like that don't understand life. They don't understand reality.
It's just they have
Because
passion.
no, my wife and I, we'd do anything. I'd cut my right arm off to have another child. I'd do anything to have that baby. And he treats that baby, the child that he had, he called it a kid.
Yeah.
Like a
kid.
piece of bad stuff or whatever. And
Yeah.
that really upsets me. I talked to my wife about it several times here recently. I haven't told her today that supposedly the guy has admitted that he's hurt the child and whatever. I don't want to say the word on YouTube, or if this is on YouTube or whatever. I've got my TV muted and my phone muted so I don't, echo or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just makes me very sad because you have families out there that would gladly love that child so much, and all these other Sebastian Rogers,
Yeah.
they would love this child with all their heart, and this other child here, a missing boy from Idaho, I mean, it just makes me sick.
Yeah.
And then the world's lost their minds. I've talked to them. Across the street from me, right across the street from me, is a federal agent. And I talked to him. I'm like, what's going on in this world? Like, why are people doing all this stuff? Like, why are people, and we have our theories, what do you think? Why do you think people are doing this?
I think society has been desensitized to crime, and it's just getting worse because society is getting worse. I think that myself, I think we breed serial killers. I think if you look at history of people that just hurt people for no reason, murder without motive, is like in the 70s, look at society, it wasn't that bad. And there was all those serial killers in the 70s. The 80s, 90s, today, things are 1,000 times worse. Everybody's desensitized to murder and violence and the R word. And it's just, people don't have any compassion for human life. I think we're breeding.
I'll agree with that. And I'll also say one other thing. And I've talked to my cousin is a police officer. He serves on the, when he's off duty, he serves on the SWAT team and, all that jazz. But I asked him one time, what's going on in this world? And he said to me, hey, Brendan, you know what's going on in this world? I think that people have forgotten about Jesus. I think people have forgotten about God and what God has taught us. And I'm not a religious person.
Morals and values. Even if you took the Bible out, people, you got to live by morals and values, and people don't have much of that anymore. Not everybody. I'm
gonna be honest. I don't walk into the church, but I have values. I have morals. Like you said, I treat you with decency and respect, and I hope you give me the same.
Same thing. Yeah, that's how I believe treat people, no matter what, like.
And if there is a holy man at the end of all this, and we have to answer to him, if we've been a good person, then he's going to let us in. And if we've been a bad person, then what's going to happen,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, look, hey, I appreciate you calling in. You be good, brother.
Hey, I've watched your channel several times, and I appreciate all the things you've been doing to help these people. That's awesome.
It ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. You be good. Stay safe,
buddy.
All right, peace.
I will. Peace.
I tell people this a lot. Like, listen, even if you're not religious, if you don't believe in God, the Bible's still a good book of morals and values. Okay, thou shalt not covet my brother's wife. Thou shalt not kill. these things, right? If anything, it's good for that, just to keep you a decent human being, right? But really, you don't need a Bible. You just need your heart. Your heart should lead you in the right direction if if you're a good, genuine person. I don't think you got to be great. I don't think you got to be a saint. Just be a decent human being. That's what I tell people. That's all we need is more decent human beings. But there's so many things out there that promote violence and just society is so bad, right? Because if I'm going to use this example, and I probably said this 1,000 times, Ted Bundy. They asked Ted Bundy what made him want to hurt women, and he said pornography. He started watching pornography, and next thing you know, he was brutally murdering women. So back in the 70s, what Ted Bundy was doing is we had, let's just say, softcore porn. Okay, your Cinemax type stuff, right? A boob here, boob shot there. Nothing really like. We got the worst perversions on the internet that you can even imagine. Kids are growing up watching stuff with whips and chains and shit that I'm like, whoa, is this out of a Hellraiser horror movie? But no, it's becoming more mainstream, and violence on the news and people in music promoting this type of violence it's going to get worse, and it's going to get a lot worse. And people, when I was young, there wasn't a bunch of spree killings. Okay, now we just yesterday, right? And listen, that's just the start of the school year. There's going to be 15 more of these. Think about it. It's society. We need to. We got to go back to the basics of teaching morals and values and compassion and love for one another. That has been stripped from society. This is my only reason I can think that the world is the way it is. It's because people don't love their fellow human beings. You're supposed to treat people like you want to be treated. The way the world works, it looks like a bunch of people want it to be treated like assholes because everybody's an asshole. I don't want to be treated like that. I want to be treated good, and I'm going to treat you good. I hold it, but maybe it's the southernness in me. That's one thing I was given by the grace of God is I still hold the doors. I still say yes, sir, no, ma'am, polite to people. Like, I don't treat people bad unless they treat me bad. I would never do something to anybody out here unless you've done something to me first. And then I'm still a super forgiving person. Now, PJ tells me all the time, hey, you're too forgiving. You trust too many people. I still want to think that the world is a good place. I do. Even though I know it's a scary place, I still want to think of the world as a good place. Because if you don't, how are we going to change it into a good place? We had to work together. We got to stop these people from hurting people. We got to stop people from killing kids. We got to stop people from kidnapping kids. We got to stop mothers from killing their own kids. And this is all something that starts early on with your children, teaching them morals and values and praying to God that they learn those things. Like, listen, I got a daughter right now. She's 25 years old. Knock on wood, she don't never go out and hurt nobody or do anything terrible. And the reason I think she won't is because I believe I've raised her right with good morals, good values, to love everybody, be caring, compassionate person. And these things are taught to your children. They're taught. If you're not teaching your children these things, that you may be raising the next Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Hillside Strangler, Gary Goodridge, all these terrible, horrible people. And you can raise a kid perfectly right, and they still become this. But the odds are better if you raise your kid right that they won't. And just because once you let them go, once they're grown and they on their own, you got to pray to God that the things you taught them will carry them through life and be a good person. All right. I don't know how we fix everything. Right? It's so broken. Everything's so broken in our world that we live in. I couldn't begin to tell you how to fix it. Couldn't even come close. It is jacked up. It took decades for it to get this bad. Okay. And you gotta, Rose from Virginia always says it, you gotta have your head on a swivel. You gotta be looking at everything at all times, because there's just so much going on in this world that it is horrible. And they do, listen, I'm not trying to push religion, but they do take God out of everything these days, you know, out of schools. And I don't know, but I'm going to change the subject back to this missing kid. Let me open the phone lines. I got time to take a couple more calls, and then I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to give you my reasons why I believe Jake did not confess. Dolly.
It's Mia. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You had me thinking about that movie Strangeland. Remember that movie? With Dee Snider?
Yeah. Where the dude, the killer's on the internet?
Yeah, and he like gets them with he hangs them from those like fishing hooks and stuff.
Yeah, that is a good movie. Dee Snider, you know, he directed that movie.
Yeah, didn't he produce it too?
Yeah, he wrote it, produced it, directed it. That was a good movie. Mr. Howdy was the name of him in the movie.
Oh, my daughters loved it. They loved it, and they'd like watch it all over, you know, like on repeat.
That is a creepy movie.
But look, that was back in the 90s, and look at, like you said, look at how much worse it's gotten.
Yes. I mean,
you get desensitized.
I guess it's a real thing. I mean, if you watch it, crime should worry you and scare you and be shocking. People are not shocked or scared or worried about it anymore, you know, and that shows you it desensitizes you.
Yeah, it's scary. But I was going to ask you, what do you think about this? So, like, say, for example, if that, whatever his name is, Robert, whatever, the one from yesterday, the mass shooter, if your family knows that you have mental problems, if they know that you have an arsenal of weapons, do you think that the law should now start prosecuting these family members that don't take any type of action? What is your position on that?
I mean, it's a hard one, because that's a big argument. That's the kind of where me and Doug was talking, and I kind of ended it, because you could go in this and debate this for almost forever. Like, if you took that away from him, or took the rights away for people to protect themselves from people like him, it hurts kind of both sides. Like, because let's just say you if he didn't have that, he could have done something else to hurt people, right? Just as many people, if not more. I mean, it don't take but a match to do awful damage. You know what I'm saying? Awful damage. It's a match. So
that's true.
If you know somebody has mental health, they shouldn't have these type of weapons, for sure. Okay.
I agree.
But then again, when you go to a store to purchase these things, the person selling them to you is not a psychiatrist, right? They're not a psychiatrist. So it's a slippery slope, and I don't know how you fix that problem. But you definitely, if you have somebody in your family that has an arsenal of weapons that have mental health problems, I would report it to the authorities.
Yeah, my people don't have that kind of money. Those guns are expensive.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And where does a young person get those type of finances? And I don't know. It's a mental health problem. That's one of those things that are hard to stop from happening unless you have some concept. And that boy was so crazy. It's hard to think that nobody didn't know he was crazy. He's whispering and talking. To me, I think he's schizophrenic.
That's why I'm nice to people, Dolly. That's why I'm nice to people.
Yeah, you don't want to make it on their hit list. Did you hear how he was talking?
Yeah, he's like, he supposedly he thought he was a demon or something.
He changed his voice like 5 different times.
Yeah, it was
he honestly sounded like different people. I was like, he was whispering, and then he talked.
He's like, "Oh, shut up!" He's like, "Shut" or something, huh?
We don't want to say what he was saying, but you know, he was schizophrenic. He's hearing voices in his head. You could tell by the way he was talking. He was answering himself and shit. I was like, This dude is cray for sure.
That's scary.
Yeah.
So what do you think about then old boy Brian Enton? Then you don't think that? I don't know. I don't believe it either.
He was probably given that information and he believed it and he ran with it. I mean, he's a news guy. It's about ratings. It's about views, and he ran with it. Like, you know, I hear rumors and run with them sometimes too. So I get it. I understand it. It's just, it's wrong. And so many people are still believing it, I think.
I feel like Jake's going to use that to try to sue them. Watch, since he's a scammer anyways, he might try to sue them for defamation of character.
I mean, I don't know. He ain't going to be out anytime soon to sue anybody, but you never know. You never know. Like, but he said allegedly. He said allegedly, if this is true. He didn't state it as it was a fact. A lot of people forget that he's saying if this is true, allegedly. And Brian Eaton did say that. He said allegedly, if this is true. So he didn't as a fact. For defamation, you have to lie on somebody and know that you're lying. So if he believes that did happen, he can say that, and that's not defamation. He has to know that didn't happen and say that for it to be
like that's Jake saying, we didn't do it, That's defamation for his baby. You know, he killed that boy.
We all
allegedly.
We all think he did. We wasn't there, but the evidence is going to point to him, and he is going to prison for the rest of his life. That's a fact.
Why wouldn't you turn yourself in if it was an accident? Why wouldn't you call 911?
Absolutely, you would. Because the first thing I would do is when I see my child non-responsive, I'd be trying to get the paramedics there to help him. And
exactly,
but he didn't do that, right? So he's guilty.
Rebecca Soto.
Yeah,
standing by her man.
Yeah. Rebecca Soto is a good name to call her, and but look at Jen. Look at Jen right now. Jen's walking around free.
Yeah, that lady's got something coming too. She needs to be in jail with Stephen Stearns.
I'm
surprised he didn't throw her under the bus.
Well,
he
tried. He tried a little bit there in the beginning when the phone calls. He was saying that she started it all, but her time will come. Her judgment won't come maybe until this world ends. But she's gonna get what she got's coming to her. You do some evil like that, you're gonna pay that price in the afterlife. Or if you come back like the Buddhists, even if you're Buddhist, you're gonna come back as a rat.
A rat, Master Splinter.
I don't know about that, but you're gonna come back. You're gonna come back as something bad. I can tell you that. If there is another life, you're gonna come back with badass luck. Okay.
The Sri Lankans, they believe that too. That you come back.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that's why my luck is so bad. I did something bad in my past life. Okay. So
you don't have bad luck. You're blessed, Dolly. We love you.
All right. You be good.
You too.
All right,
Take care. Have a good day. Okay,
I don't know how many people believe in reincarnation in this chat room, right? I'll be watching a lot of documentaries on reincarnation, but yeah, I think, sometimes when bad things happen, is maybe something you did bad in your past life. Karma is a real thing. I know some people don't believe in karma. I do. Everything I've ever done bad has came back to bite me in the ass like 10 times. So I believe karma is real. I believe that it's the yin and the yang. What you put out is what you get back. So if you put out evil in this world, you'll get evil back. If you put out good in this world, you get good back. And I've noticed that the more good I do, it seems like the more good things happen to me. So it makes me want to do good things for people and be a good person, because I just have a better life that way. It seems like my luck has changed and I'm doing better, and just the more good I put out there, the more good that comes back to me. And so that's the reason I'm telling you to be good people, is because let's say you have shitty luck, start being a good person and your luck will change. Here's a question for everybody. How many children actually go outside and play anymore like they used to, instead of staying in the house on electronics? You can't send your kid out to play unless you're with them, because there's damn monsters everywhere. Okay. It is horrible. Society has gotten horrible. You have to be a hover parent these days. Absolutely hover over your kids, because if you don't, something bad will happen to them. I mean, so many kids are getting snatched and coming up missing and just bad things happening to them, you can't send your kids out to play. It's terrible, right? Unless you're right there with them, right? Unless you're right there with them. And that's basically how I did with my daughter. But the reason I did is I lived in the hood. I didn't have a lot of money, right? So I had a decent little house, but it was in the hood. And there was a lot of drugs and violence in the area. So every time my kid went out to play, I was right there with her. So I didn't live in a nice country home where you can send your kid out and play with, and run around. And even those places are not safe, right? Like look at Sebastian Rogers lived in a $700,000 neighborhood. Brandy Neal Bond that we're talking about today, prayers for Brandy. She lives in a real nice rural country area, beautiful houses, nice neighborhood. Look at Michael Monkey Vaughn, gone, right? So it don't really matter. No matter where you're at, you have to be with your kids 24/7. They walk outside, you walk outside with them. Right? They go to the bus stop, you go to the bus stop with them. When they get off the bus, you waiting at the bus stop for them. That's what I did. But I mean, I wasn't worried about kidnappers as I was worried much about drug dealers and gunshots and stuff like that. So it kept me on my toes. And now my kid's 25, she made it. But you got to do that even when you live in these really nice neighborhoods. You think, oh, my kid's good to walk to. This is a safe area. That thinking your home is safe. Dolly. Hello.
Hey, Dolly.
Yes.
Hey, this is Melissa
Hey, Melissa.
from West Virginia.
West Virginia.
I need to know, what do you think about Emmanuel Haro?
What do I think about him?
I mean, you think this guy's just taking him on a wild goose chase looking for him?
Yes. He knows exactly where that baby's at. He knows exactly where that baby's at.
Well, now, he told the cop that was put in his cell 2 different things. He
Yeah,
told him that
I don't believe that there was ever a cop in the cell with him, because they don't put people in high profile cells with you. I've been to jail.
They do. They put cops in there.
Yeah, they may have some jailhouse snitches.
My husband was a cop for 25 years.
Uh-huh.
They do. Yeah.
Okay. So you believe he confessed?
I believe he confessed to killing him.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe he confessed about how he did it.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I think.
Wouldn't you think that's strange if they just throw somebody in the cell with you and you instantly going to tell them what you did? That don't seem odd.
I mean, they don't put somebody in there like that. They leave them in there for a while, and they kind of get buddy, and you homie this and homie that, and
Yeah.
Plus, the guy in the cell was probably.
Well, how long can he leave him in there? He didn't get arrested, but what, a week ago? How close are you would come with somebody in a week?
I don't know, but I mean, I know they can do it.
Yeah,
and I know it's legal.
It is legal. Yeah, they do it, and they do
It's
do
legal.
it.
Yeah.
But why did the district attorney and the sheriff come out and say that is a lie? He never confessed. If he confessed, why would they say it's a lie?
No. I thought they said he never confessed to where the kid was.
They said there was no confession. Absolutely no confession. They said none, zero, zip, nada.
Why have I heard so many different things on this aspect then?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the best source for information is the sheriff and the district attorney, and they're both saying, and they're over it. These are the people that are going to prosecute them. They're saying there's no confession. The only people we hear say there's a confession is the media, but nothing to back it up with. They're not saying what police officer said it, how they heard it, nothing. It's just them saying it. with circumstantial evidence. We don't know. There may have been some blood in the house. There may have been something on their cell phones. There may have been something on the computer. We don't know. We don't know that information.
Well, let me ask you that. Here's my major bitch.
Uh-huh.
He beat his 7-year-old daughter nearly to death.
Uh-huh.
She can't walk. She can't talk. She can't see. She's in a wheelchair for the rest of her life.
Yes. Horrible.
How did he not go to prison for the rest of his life?
Judges that don't think people need to be in prison. I mean, that's the problem, is people not being tough on crime. It's happening all over the country. I mean, that's where the justice system is broke and needs to be rehauled. I mean, it's horrible.
Oh my God, he beat that baby to a pulp.
Yeah.
Nearly killed. I shouldn't say this. Maybe she would have been better off dead.
I don't.
And the way she's living in a wheelchair, I don't know. But she can't communicate. She can't. That poor child can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, he basically he took the life of that child. I mean, in certain ways you look at it, he took the life. You know, she may be breathing, but she don't have her life was taken from her. So
I agree.
He didn't take the life of one kid. He took the life of 2 kids.
He did.
So,
and I think this baby that they say has a lazy eye.
Uh-huh.
I think he hit that baby in the head.
Possibly.
And caused something in his brain.
Yeah, I'm not no medical expert, so I don't know, but I would think that's possible. You know,
I think it's very possible.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a monster, and just to thank God he won't never do it again. Hopefully, unless some judge is like, oh well, there's not enough evidence, they let him go.
Freaking idiot!
Oh my God! I mean, we got to remember that California is not the toughest place on crime.
No, I know.
In our country, okay.
But you know what? His wife, to me, is just as guilty.
Yeah, she had every opportunity to talk, and she didn't. So that when they throw the book at her, in the beginning, I look at her like she's an abused woman, and I should feel bad for her, right? But
I did too. I had all these reservations.
But she's been given a chance. She's been given a chance to come clean with all that and be honest. And listen, you don't have to worry about him abusing you anymore. Now it's time to talk, and she's not talking. So at that point, to me, you're just as responsible as he is. Then.
Well, you know what? She's safe now, so there's no reason why she isn't talking.
Amen. That's the point that I'm at. Like if you came out and right when you were like in the beginning, when they got you away from him and said, listen, I've been beat. I'm scared of this man. He told me he was going to kill me. I'd feel some kind of way for her, because we do know there's men out there like that do beat on their women.
He did to Emmanuel.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, he beat on the last wife too. I like to hear from her. I bet you he beat on her. He beat on the kid. He beat on Rebecca. He beat on that child. He's been beating on everybody. He's an abusive piece of shit.
Let me ask this. The 7-year-old girl, she's 7 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
Whose daughter was that besides his?
The lady that he has 2 kids with that lady. He has 2 kids with Rebecca, and Rebecca has 2 kids with another man. So there's 6 kids total.
They should castrate the motherfucker.
That is horrible. All right, you be good.
You too. Bye.
All right.
Sorry if I demonetized you.
You're fine. It ain't worried about it.
Okay.
Peace.
All right, bye.
I don't do this for the money anyway, right? The money just pays the light bills and puts food in the refrigerator. It's about justice for these kids and justice for people, for me, right? Of course, a couple bucks help, but it ain't really going to change much in the big scheme of things. Keep fighting for these kids is the best thing. Keep spreading awareness to these things. And the bad thing about all this, guys, is it just keeps happening, right? It just keeps happening. Like, before this even gets old, there's going to be another kid, and then another kid, and then another kid. And I can tell you this, in true crime, you know, I will never run out of content unless this world changes. I will always have something to talk about. I don't have to look for things to talk about. Never. That's how bad this place has gotten. That there's just so much violence and so much craziness in the world. It's job security. You know? And I pray that my videos reach more people and that more people start to bring awareness to this. And here's the crazy thing about this. If you look at it, mostly women are into true crime. I hope I reach more and more men that want to spread this same type of awareness, because women dominate true crime. We need more men, right? Because a lot of you women love this stuff, right? I know this because I look at my analytics. 85% of my viewers are women, right? We need more dudes out here caring and spreading awareness and fighting for these kids too. And them, not that I don't want to reach women, but I hope I reach some men and go, you know what? Maybe I could do the same thing Dolly's doing and bring some awareness and help the fight, right? Because the bigger the army grows in this fight, the better. The more awareness that's out there for these kids, the better. Let's just pray that they find this baby. They prosecute the people that did this to this child. And we know who those people are, allegedly, right? And their time is coming. And we're going to take 2 people off the street that won't never hurt a kid again. But there's a lot of people out here still that will. Redfish Dolly, get your travel bag ready. The next case, because you are so right, there's another one around the corner, sadly, says Redfish Bluefish. The problem with that, guys, is my suitcase is already ready because me and PJ's vacation starts tomorrow evening. Now we're hitting the road. We are going to be out on the road for the next 2 weeks. Okay. And we're going to be on vacation. So you might not get as much as me as you usually do. But even me and PJ, we still like to come up here, even on our vacations, and talk true crime. We just do it from wherever we're at. So you may catch us traveling. You may catch us at a hotel or where a theme park or wherever we decide to go. And they didn't let me on Crime Con this year, so I doubt we do Crime Con. PJ might want to do it. I don't know. But we're hitting the road. So you guys come join us for the journey, right? And that starts, I didn't even unpack. I knew I was hitting the road again. I was only going to be home for a couple of days before we left the state again. So now PJ will be with me. Okay, so it'll be me and PJ out on the road. And you never know where we're going to pop in. You just never know. We may turn it into a true crime horror vacation. We do that a lot. We tend to go to haunted places. We tend to go to places that involved in true crime and use our vacation to do a little bit of relaxing and a little bit of searching and droning and, you know, who knows? So the next 2 weeks are up in the air. Okay. And hope you guys join us for that. All right. Y'all be good. Stay safe. Dolly loves you. Peace.